All right, I am back. Has got to be the shortest I've ever made it through that line ever. So the pickup line for my son. So for those of you who didn't catch the earlier video, I had what I thought was a really quick message, and then it kind of turned into a little mini rant about people manipulating us or guilt tripping us or whatever it is, scamming us out of our money. And today being Giving Tuesday, I find that giving is one of the biggest conflicts for many of the people that are in my audience. And so just to summarize for those of you who weren't part of that video, um some of the things that I talked about were, when we go to church and they tell us give till it hurts, or you can't beat God giving, or if you give, he'll give back to you. Sometimes we come from families that are less advantaged and we work hard and pull ourselves out of that. And then people feel entitled to our money, or they feel entitled to the success that we've got, even though they didn't do the work. And then sometimes I don't think I said it quite like that. I think I was actually probably a lot nicer in my first video when I tried to say that. I probably didn't say it like that. But then you also have situations where we ourselves just don't feel good about ourselves unless we're helping somebody else. And so it really sets up this strange dichotomy of we help somebody, we feel really good about ourselves, and then the bills come, we've overextended ourselves, we've done something to upset our family. Like I was the queen of that. I was the queen of, I was going to volunteer and help everybody else and had no time left over for my husband, right? That used to be who I was. And my ex-husband, that's one of the good things I learned from being married to him, right? One of those good things was he was like, you keep giving to everybody else, but you don't give any of your time to me. And that was very early on in my first marriage. And I was like, wow, I didn't even realize I had that personality. And that personality wasn't just because I was called to change people, change the world, equip God's people, because I'm called to do all those things. But what was going on is I didn't feel good inside of me. And so a lot of times people who give to the exclusion of the things that they need to do to take care of their family and their future, that's really what's underlying it. And I don't ever want to discount the value of helping, because sometimes to pull yourself out of a rut, it's helpful to help somebody else. Okay. So I don't want anybody to hear what I'm not saying today. But the thing is, the Lord's blessings, they don't come with a curse attached. And if you help and you're a blessing and you feel like this and that is a blessing, and there's a curse that comes afterward, and there's that sadness and disappointment, that is probably not the Lord. I want us to be in a position that knowing that we were able to give and give freely and without strings attached, and without the negative emotions that come later. Okay. So what do you do? What do you do? If you didn't get a chance to watch it, I think I was much more eloquent in the first video than me trying to summarize it just now. But what do you do? What do you do when you want to give, but you don't have the money? All right. One thing you can do is you can look for ways to crowdsource to raise the funds that you need. And we see this all the time with GoFundMe, right? You also see it right now with Facebook fundraisers. Like every time I log into Facebook, it tells me, hey, we're going to match funds, pick a fundraiser, right? So things like GoFundMe, the Facebook fundraisers, any kind of effort, even doing a live video like this, you tell a compelling story, people donate, and now you can give more than your spend plan allows. I actually did this last year with the Heart of Gold campaign. Some of you might remember. Every year, our school has a Heart of Gold game, and they raise money to help somebody in need. And last year, it was for a young man named Frankie who suffered a really bad car accident. And it triggered me because I had also suffered a really bad car accident, but I had just retired from the military and I had no idea how my money situation was going to play out. So I was going to give what I had, but I really, in my heart, I knew the years of rehab he was going to have. And I knew how long it was going to take for him to recover the use of his arms and his mind and everything. And he used to be a ball player. And I knew that medical care wasn't cheap. I mean, I had really good TRICARE insurance, and my medical bills, if they're stacked like this, if you turn them on the side, it exactly fills a printer paper box, one of those Air Force printer paper boxes, right? And so I wanted to do more for him, right? But I just didn't know what my family was going to need from me, and I would have not wanted to give all the money that I had saved aside for my family to help this young man. So I did a Facebook Live, and we had so many donations, y'all, that together with what the rest of the town did, it was over $14,000 raised in a rural town in 1 week. See, if you have the heart, but you don't have the money, then either someone else has the money and it'll be brought to you, or someone else has the skills you need to acquire the money or do the blessing or get the job done. Either way, those people, they may never get to participate in the blessing if you shortchange your family finances to bless somebody else. But if you ask, if you seek, if you knock, then you will find it. It shall be given to you. It'll come right when you want it, right when you need it. I'm encouraging you to trust the process. Trust the process and trust that if God wanted you to give the money, he would put it in your hands one way or another. Now, look, don't be superstitious about this. You're a child of God, right? You're covered in the blood, right? You don't need to be superstitious about giving. If somebody's telling you to give $100 and you don't have it, then God didn't tell them to tell you to give $100. God may have told them to say that, and you may have heard that, but if you don't have it to give, then God didn't tell them to say that for you to give it. And we could break that down all kinds of ways. I mean, God may be telling them that for the sake of somebody else who might hear it. God may be telling them to say that to prove their faith. I don't know. I just know if you don't have it, God didn't tell you to give it. Because my scripture says he accepts what you have, not what you don't have. Let me say that again for the people in the back. Scripture says, and I didn't make this up, right? Scripture says, 2 Corinthians 8 and 12. I preached on it 2 weeks ago at Oakdale while their pastor took their family on a well-deserved vacation. God accepts what you have, not what you don't have. God isn't looking to see, he isn't looking to judge you according to what everybody else is doing, making their lives look all Facebook fabulous. He's looking to see what you do with what you have. See, when you start to feel that condemnation, that is not the Lord. That's the devil. And I'm not ashamed to say it either. If you don't have it, don't give it. All right. Now, I'm gonna throw something out there. I know one of the things that really I've been around church work for a little while now. I didn't grow up in the church, but I've been around church work for a little while. And one of the things that I notice is that sometimes they'll get out there and just pick a number. And sometimes they'll just pick a number and they'll say, you know what, we're gonna set it for $100, or we're gonna set it for $1,000. We're gonna set it for whatever it is, and somebody will pay it. Most people won't, but somebody will, and they wouldn't have if we didn't say it. So don't always think that what the preacher is saying, especially the TV preachers or the revival preachers or the big meeting preachers, don't always think that what they're saying is really God telling you to give. This is one of those points that I had a lot of people that come to me for financial planning that's really, really hard for them to overcome, because they're like, well, if you're getting blessed, you should give to the ministry. That's a biblical principle. If you are getting blessed, yes, you should give to the ministry. But if you don't have the money, find another way to give. All right, find another way to be a blessing, or let go and let someone else grow by letting them be the blessing. Let them get their reward by them being the blessing. All right. All right. So I've got a question here. This is an interesting question. Why is it important to give in the first place? And I'm not going to assume that everybody who watches my channel shares my faith. I know that everybody who watches my channel regularly accepts the fact that I have my faith and I'm unashamed of my faith, and I'm going to talk about my faith. All right. But it's really going to depend for you on your faith, because many people have a faith that esteems giving. One of the biggest reasons, though, if we take faith out of the equation, and I don't like to do that, but if we just took faith out of the equation and stripped it down to the basic concept, giving does a couple of things for the entrepreneur. Giving, first of all, keeps us grounded. And a true heart of giving and being generous, it also keeps us walking in the energy of abundance, all right? Instead of scarcity. It's hard to feel like there's not enough when you're able to give. And sometimes just the act of giving makes a shift in your energy that shifts you away from the scarcity thinking, which is why people may not always, somebody, if an entrepreneur is doing everything right and their business is not growing, that tells me they're walking in scarcity energy, okay? And so we need to shift that. And one of the ways you shift that is by giving, was by volunteering. Okay. But another thing that giving does, giving, it shifts your internal energy, your internal vibration, your internal vibe, the vibe you get from somebody, right? From fear, anxiety, worry, scarcity into love and gratitude. And those are the two highest energies. I was gonna talk about it last week with Dr. Jonas, and the conversation was so good we never even got to it. But we have the 7 levels of character. Well, most of us live in the scribble scrabble of life, and we're fighting and clawing for every little bit that we have. But when we ascend up the character levels to a life that is reflected with joy and love and grace and peace, all like, coincidentally, all the things that Philippians 4:8 tells us to think about, and coincidentally, all the same kinds of things that you see in the fruit of the Spirit, they are all the kinds of things that the people who are most successful exhibit in their lives. How about that? All right. So, so it's very important to me. It's very important as an entrepreneur who wants to build wealth and stay safe. It's very important for me to give, and it's very important for me to help my clients learn how to give while still building wealth for today and for tomorrow. So now, some of us, we have no money and we know we can't help this particular thing and we can't help that particular thing, but we want to be in the room, right? Like we want to be in the mix. We want to be doing something. We want to be able to say we were a blessing, but we can't even pay our bills right now. So if that's you today, no shame, no shame, no shame, and no shade, right? I want to tell you about something really cool that came to me today. This must have been some marketing genius's idea, because several people are doing it today, and I hadn't seen this. But I love it. I'm gonna be doing it next year. That's for sure. I don't have the time today to put something together today, because I've got to go to a ribbon cutting. But what they're basically doing, I want you to find a business doing this, is running a free promo where you do something that benefits them for free, and they bless someone else at no charge to you. Okay, so some of you may have heard me talk about this guy, Tom Matson. He and his crew are doing this. They run an event called Strategic Alliance Live a couple times a year. And if you're looking for like joint ventures and such, that's the place to be. Like where you can get high level speakers, performers, vendors together and joint venture each other's businesses so that everybody grows. I love building wealth together, right? That's really the epitome of building wealth together. And so I learned so much about collaborating from them and about the high level success. And you're going to see the fruit of that over the coming year, right? So guess what he's doing? Giving Tuesday only, he's waiving the $97 ticket fee for this week's conference, which actually starts tomorrow. But I mean, it's a couple days, and even if you can only jump in one day, it's good. It's mind blowing. I'm telling you, the connections you will make, they will take your business to the next level. So he's waiving the $97 ticket fee, and then on top of that, he's donating the cost of the ticket to his nonprofit entrepreneur empowerment in Bangladesh to help people survive to help people thrive to entrepreneurship, which I thought was pretty cool. I was like, man, I may not have never known anything about this entrepreneurial effort in Bangladesh, but that's an easy win-win, right? I know the content is good, and I'm gonna meet people that are gonna help me further my business. Some entrepreneur in Bangladesh is gonna get some training to elevate their lives. I mean, that's a win-win. Now, I put a code in the comments, I put a code in the thing, and you can go to jjclink.com/Sal, and there's a code, surge of new buyers. It's all one word. Excuse me, all one word, no spaces. And it's really, like, to me, it's really a win-win. It's a win for Tom because he's such a phenomenal salesperson that I'm sure, I mean, okay, it's not like he and I talked about this, all right? But I'm sure he feels if he gets enough free people in the room, he can upsell them into his program. So it's a win for him, right? He wants the room filled. It's a win for you because you get content that's going to change your life and elevate your business. And it's a win for me. Well, it's a win for me because I get street cred for bringing you in, right? It's a free ticket, so I don't get a referral fee. But I meant to say Freudian slip, right? But so it is a win for me because I get street cred, right? And I like street cred. Like, I like when I brought people to the party. I like when I brought people to some high level person who's pouring into my business. I like to be the one to bring people in and be like, look, see, I'm saying thank you in the best way I know how, bringing you some new business. All right. But it's also a win for the entrepreneur who has an opportunity to take this class and do whatever they need to do that wouldn't have had otherwise. Okay. So look for those kinds of opportunities. Look for the opportunities where you can help somebody knowing what you have, which might be time, energy, audience, any of those kinds of things, right? And then they in exchange bless somebody else. I'm gonna do something like that for sure. Camp Gladiator is doing the same thing like that. I should have sent that out. Wow, I don't know what I was thinking. I love my online workouts, and I love having consistent workouts no matter where I'm traveling. And I normally keep my camera off because of traveling and kids and stuff. And I don't want y'all to see me when I'm trying to, all the rolls and everything, right? But I also love when I feel like I need that extra accountability, or I need somebody to help me with the variations on the exercises so I don't trigger the injuries that I have, right? I can turn the camera on and I get individualized attention from the trainer. Like they are physically showing me how to do the exercise. If I don't understand something, even if I don't have the camera on, I can put it in the chat. I don't understand how to do that. Is there an alternate exercise? And they are physically on the spot helping me out every day other than Sunday if I want it. $25 a month is what I pay. You can't even beat that, right? So they are offering a free camp which runs through the month. I wonder why this is shaking so bad. I don't have this on anything that shakes. Oh, I think my chair is bouncing this every time I get all excited. Anyway, they're offering a free camp that runs through January, and you want to sign up before the free slots are gone, right? But what they're doing is, for every person that signs up for the free camp, they're sending enough donation to plant 10 trees. All right. So if you've been down in the dumps, you want to get back into shape, but you don't feel like you've got the time, message me your email address and I'll forward you the email with the discount code. I put a link in the thing, but it's a crazy long, it's like holiday something or other, 20 million numbers that I'm not going to remember. Right. So if you can find it in the comments, or you can find it in the code to this, when you get the free month of workouts, they'll plant the 10 trees today only. The free months of workouts is good until January starts, but today only they'll plant the 10 trees. So you can do that. So like you can feel good. You can feel good about helping the environment and yourself all in one fell swoop. Now, are they good people? I'm sure they are. But I also know that they know if they get you in there for free and you see the results, you do the workouts, you'll stay on and pay. It's a win-win-win. A win for them, a win for you, a win for the environment, and again, a win for me too, because I only need 2 more referrals to level up. I've leveled up as far as I can without some more referrals. So look, when I got a thing from Amazon the other day. They said you have to start putting, when you're doing referrals, you have to start putting that with all your Amazon links. I was like, oh my goodness, I got so many of them out there. It's going to take forever to do that. But I think I've been pretty clear about everybody that almost every link I post is a referral link or an affiliate link. And when you don't have a lot of money, you got to look for the win-win-win. Okay, you've got to look for the ways to be a blessing without being a cursing to your family. You got to be creative and walk in abundance, and trust that if you add value to this world from what you do have, then the money that you don't have will come. It's a spiritual principle, okay? Now, look, I realize that some of what I said today, especially in the first video, is kind of harsh. I know, but I love you, and I'm only sharing this with you because I made these same mistakes over and over and over, and they kept me from being where I should be. And I want to see you avoid those mistakes. I don't want it to take you 10, 11 years to get out of debt. I want you debt free, leaving that toxic job by the end of next year, right? So who's with me on that? Now maybe your job isn't toxic, but it's holding you back from being able to do what you are called to do. Now who's ready to cut those ties and put a plan in place to leave that 9 to 5 by the end of next year, right? Who's ready to be in business for themselves? Who's ready to be home with their kids? Who's ready to spend your day doing something that makes a difference? And if you want that, I mean, if you really, really want that, what I'm saying will help you get there. I know it's not fun. I know that first time you don't give everybody at church a Christmas gift at the Christmas party, somebody going to give you some side eye and people going to be petty. But you know what? Because we're all imperfect, right? Like we wouldn't have churches if we didn't have imperfect people. And we're all, we all come in there to get better, right? I'm not talking about walking in sin though. That's a whole different thing. But sorry, y'all. But you know what? Let me tell you something. These people that you're so worried about what they think of you, if you don't give this and if you don't pay that and you don't buy these gifts with money you don't have, we weren't even talking about buying gifts, but I'm on it now. So we're just going to be on it. And then I need to get to this ribbon cutting. They don't pay your bills. They don't have a heaven or a hell to put you in. So let them alone and do something today that your future self will thank you for. Like I said earlier, when you don't have a lot of money, you've got to look for the win win win. You've got to be creative and abundant and trust that you've added value to this world. From what you have, the money and the other things you don't have will come. Trust the process and it will come to pass. I believe in you and I believe that you are called to walk in abundance. I'm JJ Conway. I want to thank you all for watching. And if you're listening on the Building Wealth Together podcast, I want to thank you as well. Your continued support means so much to me. Y'all take care and be blessed.